giving it up today. What's up, family? Boom. All right. So, oh snap. Restart it. Why can't I flip? Okay, cool. All right, cool. What's up, y'all? I have to take a deep breather for this one. All right, so we're going to be talking about the coronavirus, the CV. And I just want to share some things, some facts, some solutions, and some research that I've come across in the last couple of days. And there's a couple key people that I feel is going to be of best benefit to everybody to keep an eye on as far as like where these solutions are coming from and who's actively speaking on this with a PhD and 4 degrees in MIT. Not in addition to the degrees, though. There's a strong sense of integrity with this person. And I just want to share with y'all a couple of facts. No, it's not the CMOS. Where's I starting from? Hold on one second. What's up, Joe? So what I'm trying to do right now is get this one screenshot about Corona. I forgot about how this, there it goes. All right, boom. All right, so I'm gonna read this real quick. So at the top here is actually stating that this particular Wikipedia feed is not correlating with the 2019 to 2020 coronavirus, the coronavirus. But look, there right here says this article is about the group of viruses. So that gives a plural context, and I'm gonna go ahead and read this right here. Coronaviruses are a group of related viruses that cause disease in mammals and birds. In humans, coronaviruses cause respiratory tract infections that can range from mild to lethal, right? Boom. So now how does this correlate with what's actually on the screen right now, like on the news right now? Let me show y'all. So because of my image, you can't really see all of it, but let's see. So pretty much what I want to highlight right here is it's saying that this is severe respiratory syndrome, coronavirus 2, SARS-CoV-2, right? And this right here is an identifier, the SARS-CoV-2, all right? Because that is explicitly explaining COVID-19, which is hiding up here somewhere. All right, so that and coronavirus are two different things, because a traditional or a plural coronaviruses are a group of related viruses that cause disease in mammals and birds, from what this is explaining. So how is this important? Well, if you've been looking at the news, or if you're looking at research or articles or watching videos, you've seen that there were some rumors about people eating bats. Anybody see that rumor about people eating bats? Because that's actually going to be assisting us right here in this PowerPoint, or I don't even know what this is for real. But I'm just sharing a couple of things that I've picked up as far as this this movement has gone, right? So let me show y'all this website. So y'all can go to nature.com to find this article, all right? And oh, sorry. Let me help y'all. I forgot I'm doing 2 lives. Hold up. How do I flip this? Damn. Hold on one second, family. I swear I know how to do. Oh, I gotta swipe. Boom. All right, boom. So, wait. All right, boom. Do it like this. So, this is also another disclaimer at the top of the article, which is very interesting because a lot of websites are doing this. A lot of websites that have information correlating with this situation, they're starting to pretty much put up this letterhead at the top of each article. This was posted in November 2015. All right. Now, if you understand what I just showed you, it showed you that the issue that we're working with right now, the component that we're working with is SARS-CoV-2, right? So what you're seeing right now is an article from 2015 that explains an experiment that would utilize the coronavirus found in bats, which I just previously showed y'all that the coronavirus is explained to be found in mammals and birds. So what this is showing you right here is that this article is explaining how this coronavirus has already been in the hands of the researchers in China. So let's read it right here. In an article published in Nature magazine on 9th November, scientists investigated a virus called SHC014, which is found in horseshoe bats in China. The researchers created a chimeric virus made up of a surface protein of this and the backbone of SARS virus that has been adapted to grow in mice and to mimic human disease. So why is this even important? I find this to be extremely important because when we start looking at this shit like just a little bit closer, we can start seeing all the inconsistencies, especially when their information beyond these prior viruses were not really explained or explicitly stated as coronaviruses. But let me go ahead and show you this real quick. So I found this doctor by the name Dr. Shiva, and by far, he's probably the only person that I know speaking on this from a sense of consciousness and a sense of integrity. So some of his information is vital, I feel like, especially when he explains what we can do as a people, because he actually wrote a letter to Donald Trump. I'm gonna go ahead and play that one. Where is it? All right, cool. Let me turn this off real quick. Look at this.
And I hope the coronavirus. Let me read this to you. So this letter I just sent, and I hope the president's reviewing this. And the letter says, it's addressed to Donald J. Trump, President of the United States, White House. And it says, Dear Mr. President, this letter provides your administration, a solution to restore the immune and economic health of the American people. This solution can be executed immediately in a low-risk and cost-effective manner. The current trajectory of Dr. Anthony Fauci's public health policy will result in short and long-term destruction of our citizens' immune health, as well as our nation's economic health. Perhaps a conscious and intended goal. Dr. Fauci's policy, at best, is based on a 1950s, outdated, one-size-fits-all, non-personalized approach to medicine and public health, and at worst is derived from fake science, understanding of the immune system, one which Dr. Fauci over 5 decades has perpetuated and exploited to build his career. We'll talk more about that in videos to come. There is no need to shut down our entire country. There is no need to quarantine all of our citizens. The solutions herein provides a path to advance the immune health of all of our citizens while getting our healthy people back to work now.
So this is not to incite fear or to suggest that this virus has the ability to climb inside your body while you are living a healthy immune system. But this is actually to point out that there are individuals right now who are accredited by the traditional systems, right? But they're actually able to articulate what the information that we actually need is, which is to strengthen and fortify the immune system. So one thing that we all know to do is stay in the house, right? But this same person by the name Dr. Shiva breaks down in one of his videos. If you go to his website, Truth, Freedom, and Health, he breaks down exactly how vitamin D is a destructive force in attack towards pathogens and bacteria. So I'm gonna play the first minute of that.
To destroy for you. And the talk I gave yesterday is a very long talk, really about vaccines, and how the conventional pharmaceutical industry, really their intervention for something like a virus is really to talk about vaccines, quarantining people and fear mongering, and not really educating you on the need to really support your immune system. And if you look at elderly people, if you look at people who are immunocompromised, or frankly, people who don't take care of their bodies well, or we don't get enough sunlight, we talked about the importance of vitamin D to supporting what we call antimicrobial, antiviral activities.
Hold on, let me slow this shit down. It was a
pretty long talk, but you get the politics of that. You get sort of my involvement from the political side, the approach I take from a system side, and then we talked about vitamin D. But today we're just going to really...
So pretty much what he's about to explain right here. What's up, hippie? So what he's pretty much about to explain right here is he's explaining how vitamin D is a bioweapon against pathogens. And he's saying this because he's explaining that our immune system is the exact way that we need to be focusing our energy, and not on these fear tactics, not on no vaccines, and not on any of this other information that causes us to just vibrate low.
Really focus, do a little bit review on vitamin D, and really talk a little more detail on vitamin D. And my hope is that you can use this for yourselves, to educate yourselves, your family, but you can also use this to educate MDs as well as other healthcare professionals, because...
So in another video, he also explains that MDs actually read the book, and the book does not explain the body's health from a perspective of understanding the immune system. So they come at the problems with, how can we add to the problem? You know, how can we add something to this problem so that it can actually become better, rather than understanding how the individual, how the organism, aka the body, how it works as a system, and then understanding why the problem is even occurring. And that's why I like his perspective, because all these adding. Well, what do you need to add to some bullshit? What do you need to add to a bad eating habit? You know what I'm saying? What do you need to add to that? Well, if you're already having a immune compromised body, which he's going to explain, we have to speak on fortifying that. We have to speak on repairing that and strengthening
The
that.
amount of fear that's being put out is being frankly put out by a lot of ignorant people. And the only way out of ignorance is through knowledge and education, because as a great man once said, ignorance is the cause of all suffering. So, short thing, many of you know I like to connect many things, and my talks are long. I know you've liked them, but I've also gotten feedback. Can you do little snippets of pieces so we can share? So today's talk title is called, let me go back to this here.
So I'm not going to actually run through all of this right now, but I just want to give y'all his website, because I've actually taken notes on all his information, and I've been uploading it to my plant-based channel or plant-based website. So I'll give y'all the insight to that later, so y'all could get all the remedies, and not necessarily remedies, but more so adaptogens, and knowing the right adaptogens that you could utilize, like black seed oil. I have a whole list. But anyways, in addition to all this, right, how many times have you heard stay home? Every single day, probably. But who has spoke on vitamin D? Because he also explains that vitamin D can be taken in as a supplement, but the best way to get it is naturally through the sun. So if vitamin D is actually going to destroy pathogens from the internal layer of our body, because it's literally a hormone when it's created, then why is nobody on the nowheres saying that? Why is no one adding that? Oh, stay home, but make sure you peek out your window, get some fucking sunlight. Nobody has said nothing about immune system. Nothing. You're going to die. So when I hear that, or when I'm having a conversation, or I overhear a conversation, I can hear what somebody's speaking from because of what they're saying and the energy they carry. So I'm not really trying to get into a lot of conversations about this, because I need to make sure that I'm bringing this to people so that they can think about this shit first, think about what they're doing every day before they now add on to this bullshit that's going on TV. So what I want to share with y'all next is, it was a whole process where after the outbreak, I saw this video, and it's a pastor, and I'm nowhere, shape, or form adding in religion to this, but I want to show y'all this video, because a lot of things that he says are going to correlate with what I'm sharing right now. And he was off the early, but he actually explains that he got his information from government insiders and other people of that nature. So I'm not going to no way, shape, or form credit somebody, but let's just find what we can find and go.
All right, this will not be long at all. We have to get your ear up here, and I encourage all the S4C family all over the world to listen for the message that's coming up today. Powerful speaker and powerful message. So I am looking forward to that. I'm only here to give you information concerning the coronavirus and the information and the intelligence that God has provided me with, and not my own, but through military people, through Secret Service people, over 40 years of Secret Service in the intelligence department in the United States under many different presidents. So I'm giving you information from people who know what's going on. Okay. Now, as I give you this information at the end, the dire warning is this: no matter if you have a flu-like symptom, do not take any vaccines. I'm telling you this now, and this is from the Lord. If you have a flu-like symptom, get some flu-like medicine and get some rest, and you and your body will heal from that. Do not take any vaccines. If you take the vaccine, the coronavirus is in the vaccine, not in the symptoms, okay? Now, for you guys, you do not understand that we are in the middle of a revolution. I know you don't understand this because the Lord has put me in position to deal with a certain amount of people who understand and know what is going on. This operation is an intelligence operation that began by 200 generals, secret and secret service officers, okay? It began because of what happened at 9/11 in 2001. 200 generals got together and said, enough, okay? And so an operation began to overthrow this government and to stop child pedophilia and many things that were going on around the world, okay? How does this connect to the virus? First of all, they wanted to, and President Trump is aware of this, they wanted to implement a pandemic that would panic the whole world. To cause a pandemic, you first have to get people sick. How do you get people sick? You have to implement something in the air that causes flu-like symptoms. The designated spot to do this was in Wuhan, China. They set off 5G in enormous capacity in Wuhan, China. This caused the people of the area to get flu-like symptoms. 26 scientists said, do not conduct 5G in that area because it will cause flu-like symptoms. As people were going to the hospital for flu-like symptoms, they were given the vaccine, which was the coronavirus. So the cameras were ready to film it as they died in the streets or wherever they were so that you could see it. Because remember, their idea was to panic the world, and I'll give you the information that President Trump received. So that's why he didn't go on with some of the things that they wanted him to do, okay? So as the 5G caused these flu-like symptoms in Wuhan, China, they went to the hospitals for the flu and were giving the vaccine, which was the coronavirus, okay? So as you see, it started moving out throughout the world, but it was going slow in their process because they had already had a plan, and I'll read to you the plan in a second. But recently, there were 600 people that were arrested that worked with a corrupt government called the Deep State. They were all arrested, 600 people. Because of those arrests, they felt that Donald Trump was going too far as getting rid of the Deep State. So they decided they were going to increase the speed of what was going on. So you see, all of a sudden, it was here, it was a little there. Then all of a sudden, everything's got to shut down, right? Because of the 600 arrests, okay, of very corrupt people. So after the arrest, the process was increased to speed to the United States. Trump was aware of this plan of 1 through 10, and I'll read you plan 1 through 10. The plan by these people who set forth this virus was hospitals to get overwhelmed in a matter of 2 weeks. This is the information he received. People will panic and make store runs. Sporadic looting will incur. Stock markets will plummet and tank. People, non-patriots, will not listen to the president, but rather politicians saying that it is the president's fault will be pushed through the media. This will cause number 3 to increase, which is the sporadic looting, and also number 1 to increase, which means they will continue testing people, and the numbers of people with the virus will increase. Not increase, but they will be said that you have the virus. It says in 8, first responders will be overwhelmed. Death rate will climb, not a lot, but enough to repeat numbers 2 and 3 and 1. So this is their plan that President Trump got a hold of through military secret service officer. Another round test, it said another round tests are conducted, and then this process will continue to increase until there's panic throughout the whole world. So the whole thing is the panic, and they wanted Donald Trump to test everybody, and they're going to bring FEMA in and test everybody, right? So, and by them testing, they would say, oh, all these people have it, right? And that would cause more panic. Donald Trump said, no, we're not going to have testing. If you feel you need testing, you can go here or there, because he said he wanted it to be monitored because he knew what they were trying to do. They were trying to line people up, get them tested, and the people working for FEMA, which came into action under Obama and Hillary, would have said, oh, enormous of people now have the virus, and so therefore we have to bring in the vaccine. And this would have caused death. So Trump, and it's smart, because he's not in this alone. Remember, there's 200 people that are behind him. Said no, we will not get people tested. You can get tested because he knows the symptoms is not the disease. Okay, the vaccine is the disease. Okay, so to push this, they pushed it through the media. And if you notice, 24 celebrities have gotten the vaccine. I mean, the virus. Say they came forth and they have the virus. They don't have the virus. Okay, they're doing this to push you to go out and get tested, so you will get the vaccine. So they're using the celebrities to get the public to be aware and then to begin the process. So they're using the media to set you up. Okay, Tom Hanks does not have the coronavirus. Shaquille O'Neal does not have the coronavirus. Okay, but
so I would let that whole thing run out, but look, I'm gonna have it on the IGTV if y'all want to get that whole video. So look, the first time I heard about the first celebrity, it was Idris Elbows. You feel me? That was who I seen first. And I got the clip. If nobody's seen it, you're about to find it right now. It's only a minute. And he's standing next to, I think it's his wife or a daughter. or something of that nature, because she's really close. She really want to get in the frame. Goddamn, you feel me? You didn't have to be that close. You understand? So now I'm gonna give y'all a little iteration from what I've observed from this Idris Elba. So first thing I noticed is that he just had it. When he explained how he got it, he said that he found it because he was next to someone who was infected, right? So he didn't have symptoms, but he just figured out that he was next to somebody. This is what, you know what I'm saying, how it breaks down, because this guy's an actor, so I'm going to come with it. You feel me? Like, I'm going to look at him like he's an actor. He's a professional actor. This shit is TV. You feel me? Everything on the screen is TV, bro. So, like, I'm going to come at it really. And then in the next one, he's talking to Oprah, and he doesn't come with that same level of, I know the story. You know what I'm saying? He's trying to formulate some shit. And I'm like, bro, if it happened, it happened, period. You don't need to think about what the fuck. You know what I'm saying? Look.
Hey, what's up, guys? So look, this morning I got some test results back for coronavirus, and it came back positive.
She mad close.
Yeah, and it sucks. Listen, I'm doing okay. Sabrina hasn't been tested, and she's doing okay. I didn't have any symptoms. I got tested because I realized I was exposed to someone who had also tested positive. I found out last Friday that they were tested positive. I quarantined myself and got a test immediately and got the results back today. Look, this is serious, you know. Now's the time to really think about social distancing, washing your hands.
Okay, thanks, Idris. Now I want to show y'all what he says to Oprah.
You still have no symptoms. Your temperature is still 98.6. You don't feel anything. So for all intents and purposes, you wouldn't know still that you have this virus.
Yeah, that is, you know, I'm glad you brought that up, because I think that's a real key component here. I could be in the public. I could be at home amongst my family. I could be still spreading it, and I have no symptoms. You know, I'm glad you brought.
And I have no symptoms. So, didn't have no symptoms. Ain't had no business getting tested. But I'm gonna go ahead and do it right now because I really feel like this is something I need to do right now. So another thing that I thought was really interesting, Cardi B spoke about it. She spoke about the basketball players who were explaining that they had this situation as well. Listen to what Cardi B said real quick.
I'd be like, if y'all have a cough, you have it. But then I've been seeing these basketball players say like, yeah, I have the coronavirus, but I don't got no symptoms. And it's like, so how the fuck am I supposed to know when I'm supposed to like get tested for it? Y'all niggas is playing. Y'all niggas is playing with me. Y'all niggas is playing with me. Y'all niggas is playing with me. That's my problem right there. That's my problem right there. Cause y'all not really saying what it is. And it's like, all right, so tell me what it is and what it ain't.
I don't know why it's slowing down like that.
I'm starting to feel like y'all niggas is paying niggas to say that they got it. And if y'all are paying niggas to say that they got it, pay me too. Pay me too. Okay?
So when I get that vibe, I'm like, yeah, there's like Head Zayday was saying, oh, was it Head Zayday that said that? No, that was Deranged Live, but peace to the gods and goddesses, God beings in the chat. But yeah, as soon as I saw it, I was like, there has to be a celebrity angle in play because it just too, you know what I'm saying? It's too like checkers, you know what I'm saying? Or chess. Like like the moves are just, you know what I'm saying? They're so far away from natural. And I haven't even said nothing about Gates or anything yet. You know what I'm saying? Haven't even got there. But so the reason why I showed these celebrities is because the pastor Sandy, what's his name? I think it's Sandy's, what's his name? Sandy Armstrong. His breakdown is on point. Like, well, I feel like the best part about what I'm doing right now is helping somebody who's already been looking. If I'm saying something that you have heard before, if I'm sharing some information that is clicking with something you've already been hip to, you know what I'm saying? That's just confirmation, and that's like my whole intention for doing this right now, beyond sharing the information from Dr. Shiva. So Then she came back. D-Wade son defender. Completely off subject. Oh yeah, for sure. But look, so let me share with y'all Dr. Shiva explaining how the MDs right now have no idea about the immune system.
400 medical doctors who have signed up. 400 medical doctors all over the world have signed up asking for Fauci's firing. Most MDs went into medicine for a noble purpose. However, their hands are also, they have golden handcuffs in some ways. Their training is really pharmaceutical training. It's not about looking the body as a system. Their training is not about really considering food and nutrition as a primary line of, defense. It's always been about, you have this ailment, let me find this pharmaceutical drug. So these people are victims of an unfortunate big pharma-based medical establishment. But you can see 400, 500 medical doctors have signed up, people all over the world, because everyday people like you and me, we can't be fooled. We understand what's going on. We understand that we're under a lockdown that serves the interests of big pharma and their cabal, which includes the CDC, the World Health Organization, China, the Gates Foundation, the Clinton Global Initiative, the Chan Zuckerberg Foundation, and big pharma as overall. And this is, by the way, you do a little bit of research, and this is well written about. I'm just bringing it much more to the forefront with the credibility of an MIT PhD in biological engineering. And I think it's important that occurs, and hopefully more scientists will come out and talk about it, those who are not going to hold on to these golden handcuffs. But that's what occurred less than 24 hours ago. We hit Fauci really hard. So what happened after that? Well, what happened shortly after that is I am on Twitter and I get the following message. And the message goes like this. It says, we've temporarily limited some of your account features. And so I was put in essentially some type of holding cell where I could not communicate for about 12 hours. Okay? And for someone like me who
So he was put in Twitter jail basically for he created a tweet that was saying if they gonna make I'm paraphrasing, but he said something along the lines of, if y'all gonna make vaccines mandatory, then y'all should go ahead and just make vitamin D mandatory. Because he was saying that because he's a doctor, he's a PhD, and he studies the immune system. And he actually has a company called Cytosol that actually replicates diseases so that they don't have to do animal testing. And if you don't understand the animal testing portion, is more like when you're developing a vaccine, they go through stages, and I believe there are 4 stages in developing a vaccine. The first stage, from what I remember from his website, is creating the new compound. After they create the new compound, they have to test the compound to see how it affects an animal cell. Okay, once they have that test done on an animal cell, then they now move to an actual live animal. They have the white lab rats that they duplicate, things of that nature. And then after those tests have been cleared, given that they don't have to go back into the other forms of the process in case something fails or something goes wrong and they have to go make a change to the vaccine. Then after that, after all those 3 clear, then they do this screening on the public, which are human people. Okay, so his business or his company that he developed called Cytosol is literally in place to eliminate that entire process and replicate diseases utilizing the computer, utilizing technology to replicate the process, so that you don't actually have to go through the disease. You don't actually have to grab some animals and start injecting shit. You can actually see how the body operates based on a blood type and based on the adaptogens in the foods that you eat. So I suggest every single person on this live right now and everybody tapping into the replay, make sure to tap into truthfreedomhealth.com, because that website right now and those videos should be downloaded to your computer, especially all the ones that hit home or all the ones that really ring a bell when it comes to what you could do to make yourself stronger and more fortified in the realm of your immune system. So outside of all of this, right, I wanted to explain that 5G part because Sandy Armstrong spoke on that. He was explaining how in Wuhan, where they created the first scene where they grabbed the footage to show on TV and on the news and media, that the 5G actually hurt the people in a sense. But it's hard to understand that because some people in California probably have 5G towers already. I know someone there who has a 5G tower nearby, but why hasn't it done nothing to them? That's a different story, and that's what I want to explain. So I was doing the research, and I've seen a lot of people speaking on the 60 gigahertz aspect ratio of the 5G. So the 60 gigahertz is pretty much a higher velocity of the 5G, but it's more like turning up the knob on a toaster or something of that nature, turning up the voltage, turning up the amplitude in a sense. So I grabbed a nerd off YouTube breaking the shit down. It's only a minute, and he's literally explaining that the 5G, the radio waves are short waves, so they're not able to travel that far. So he was explaining that once it reaches the 60 gigahertz, because they don't travel that far, they inject themselves into oxygen molecules. So if at 60 gigahertz, the 5G towers are injecting the energy or the frequency that is transmitting all of the computers and phones into the oxygen, then how is it going to enter your body? How is it going to be digestible by the lungs? How is your body, your respiratory system going to handle that? Maybe it won't. And maybe that's what happened before they were able to capture that. Because at this time, if you do your research, Wuhan off lockdown. Wuhan is off lockdown. And this shit actually started there December 31st. And we in lockdown right now. So it doesn't really correlate that well if they're trying to vaccinate everybody. What did they do over there? You know what I'm saying? They saying that they want to come and test it in Africa. Why? So y'all telling me that the whole continent of Africa ain't nobody get the virus, but that shit just showed up in the United States? So this Wuhan China, this is the university actually of the Wuhan University of Technology, where they have their viral university. So you're saying that this shit skipped everybody? This shit didn't have no way to breathe in nobody's air over here? And this shit just so happened to get all the way over here? Y'all gotta be bugging, dog. I want to hear something else. So let me go ahead and share with y'all this 1 minute clip so y'all could have the insight pertaining to the 5G, because a lot of people are going to be speaking about the 5G as if 5G causes coronavirus, and that's not the truth. The truth about the matter is 5G is a technology, and it actually has a haywire area, and they explain it. The people who work with this shit, because it's their job, and they know all the codes and functions and Linux and Kali Linux and all the shit, they explain it.
Why are we talking about 60, like why haven't people used 60 gigahertz before? It's because it's a pain in the butt to actually work with.
I wish I could zoom in.
For those of you who haven't seen this type of curve before, the blue line is water absorption. The purple line is oxygen absorption. And you'll notice the fact that the peak of the oxygen absorption curve, if you look at it very carefully, it may be hard to...
Hold up. I'm either running back. I believe it was like somewhere around here.
For those of you who haven't seen this type of curve before, the blue line is water absorption. The purple line is oxygen absorption. And you'll notice the fact that the peak of the oxygen absorption curve, if you look at it very carefully, it may be hard to see in the back, but it really falls out in that kind of 57 to 66 gigahertz range is that peak, which means that you actually are losing signal just by going through the air. And that the oxygen in the air is actually absorbing the signal, which really limits its range. Now, as you get beyond like 65, 66...
The oxygen in the air absorbs the signal. And that's exactly what they're showing us on the graph. Water vapor and oxygen absorption spectrum. So when I hear Dr. Sandy or Reverend Sandy, whoever, break this down, I can see how this shit fits because I'm looking for it. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, okay, so how could 5G what did it do? How? And then now here we are unrolling the dice roll. So I'm gonna get to these comments in a second, but I want to speak about the numbers too, because the numbers, I was seeing them on TradingView first. Someone showed me a link on TradingView that you could see coronavirus, and I was seeing, let me see if I can pull that up real quick. I was seeing the numbers, right? And before I get into the numbers, I want to let y'all know I have a personal family member that actually works in a psychiatric ward, or in a, not really a psychiatric ward, but it's more like a mental hospital. And they let me know that there was only one person in their admittance that had the coronavirus. And the person has been admitted to the hospital for over 2 years now, and they have no family. Like there's no family, so they have no one that visits them, and they live in the hospital. So in my mind, I'm like, so how did they get the coronavirus? They should just fucking fly through the vent. What about all the other patients? You just got one? That shit makes no sense. They're actually saying that people don't even want to come to the hospital because they feel like it's more likely they're going to get the shit there. So when I hear that, I'm like, bro, that sounds like bullshit. That sounds like bullshit. So when I hear people like really losing their thing and falling for the vibration, exchanging peace for fear, I'm like, why are you doing that? You're not going to get no sunlight today? Oh, you going to be inside all day? That's crazy, bro. I'm going to step outside right now. Like, nah, but like, listen. So I found a doctor. I can't read his name by now, but I think I'm going to post this later on. But anyway, he's explaining that he he diagnoses people. And he was told to misdiagnose someone, and he was confused about why for a minute. But then he actually realized why, and he's able to explain it. So I'm going to go ahead and play this young right now so y'all could get this game.
Page document. You just said, please. Well, last Friday, I received a 7-page document that sort of told me that if I had an 86-year-old patient that had pneumonia but was never tested for COVID-19, but sometime after she came down with pneumonia, we learned that she had been exposed to her son who had no symptoms, but later on was identified with COVID-19, that it would be appropriate to diagnose on the death certificate COVID-19. Now, we've not done that. If someone has the pneumonia and it's in the middle of a flu epidemic, and I don't have a test on influenza, I don't diagnose influenza on the death certificate. I will say this elderly patient died of pneumonia.
I don't mean to interrupt you, but my heart is sinking right now as you're telling me this. You're a doctor. Why in the world would they be sending you out information to fill out death certificates, whether the person's been diagnosed with COVID-19 or not, but then to say in the death certificate this person's death was caused by COVID-19? That does not sound right to me.
I went to the person in our office who does most of the death certificates over the last 10, 20 years, and I said, does this sound right? I had her look at the documents that I printed off, and she said, well, we've always been told that you always put down just facts. You don't put down any probabilities. You don't put any presumptions down. It's just what you know. And so this is concerning, and it actually gets to your point, Chris. When we start talking about the data that goes into the modeling, we have to ask ourselves a question. Are we being forthright? Are we sharing with the public? Minnesota, North Dakota, we don't need to be having it sugar-coated. We want to know what's going into your modeling.
So with that being said, why would they want to skew the number of deaths due to COVID-19?
Well, fear is a great way to control people. And fear is a great way to control people. And fear is a great way to control people. And I worry about that. I worry.
You feel me? Nah. Ain't having it. I ain't having it. I ain't having it. Bitch, I'm gonna be super, super supplemented. Fuck. That's wild. So, boom. I wanted to break this shit down all the way down so I could save this and also upload it to YouTube. So, pretty much what we spoke on this was the insight from Sandy Springs. What's his last name? Sandy Springs? I gotta get his name right at least one time. Sandy Armstrong, right? Hey, if you need any of these videos, send me a DM. I got you. But yeah, so we wanted to look at his overview where she explained that he got that information from insiders and seeing how that information is stacked up, especially how we've seen the celebrities, we've seen, you know what I'm saying, we've seen the information about the 5G, you know what I'm saying, but we're the conspiracy. Nah. We're actually using facts only right now. And then we have a doctor by name Dr. Shiva. First of all, if y'all been doing y'all research, y'all know Shiva, that word Shiva is referring to a Hindu god. So we actually speaking and expressing that essence, even though that's his first name. Like, not even trying to look too deep, but let's really just get with it. Like, and then he actually invented email at the age of 14, you feel me? And when I say invented email, that's what he said. But at the same time, he went to MIT and they were able to put a clothing on top of what he designed, in a sense. But he's an innovator by nature. So like, he came from the bottom of the bottoms from his perspective, in a sense of where he lived, I believe in India. And to see and hear the way that he's expressing on this shit is like, oh nah, definitely about time. You know what I'm saying? Like and he's also running for Senate in Massachusetts. So if you know anybody in Massachusetts, definitely holler at him because you want to sign that petition because we need somebody like him on the inside. Especially if you go to his website, the amount of wealth and information that he's putting out right now is shit your doctor wouldn't even tell you. Like he's explaining health from a perspective that begins from your diet. Like not many doctors or even medical professionals or MDs in a sense, they don't even actually do that themselves. But yet they're the ones administering all the medicine and all the shit like that. So that's wild to me. So there has been a couple of rumors of people in what was that place? Senegalese children. But I haven't been able to verify that or validate that, so I didn't want to share that information because from that story, it didn't sound like the vaccine is anything anybody needs to be touching with, playing with, or checking out. But y'all should do your research and understand that the Wuhan Technology University, they do have a Institute of Virology, and virology is pretty much the study of viruses, and they pretty much break down all of the different curriculums that they have, like the different centers that they have. And if you following the story, this shit started in Japan, and the article I showed y'all, it stated December 31st, and also on Wikipedia also explains December 31st, 2019. So for that shit to get over here this fast, I mean, we in April, but it's like it didn't get nowhere else. They're trying to take it to Africa, where Africa's a neighbor. So I don't feel like this shit is natural. I never felt like this shit was natural, and I just needed some tangible videos, proof, and other people speaking, especially doctors and people of high esteem in society's sense, you feel me, to express their views so I could capitalize on the truth that they're releasing. Because for me to just get up and say what I feel is different when I have results, feedback, and facts, you feel me? So that's pretty much why I wanted to do this live. I wanted to share this insight because a lot of people are contemplating about this shit like maybe I'm going to get nothing. You feel me? Like, first of all, I don't know about y'all, but I was raised in a Christian society, you feel me? And since I became aware of myself, it's been about 3-4 years by now. And I've noticed that a lot of people, even though they've been doing something for doing something for a long time, not a lot of people believe in the shit that they do for real. For real. I mean, for real. So I feel like it's the best and the most opportune time to really get grounded in that, because I am a spiritual being in a physical shell right now. You feel me? And I know that the manual says no weapon formed against me. So when I look over there and I see my auntie and she having her little church meeting, or she talk about her church meeting, and they not sharing solutions. They not looking forward to paradise. They're not looking forward to, you know what I'm saying? Like, they're just underneath the blanket of fear like it's cold. I'm like, why the fuck? What are we doing in life? This shit don't make sense. You were just reading the Bible verse yesterday. Today's the day to live the Bible verse. And you fucking up. What's going on? Anyways, that was just a little bit of me though, for real. But anyway, yeah, so I showed y'all the videos I wanted to share with y'all. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to end this live. Unless y'all want to tap in. If y'all have any insights y'all want to drop on the same situation. Because I know there's more details and more specs to, you know what I'm saying? Like, a lot of specs to, like, check off and things of that nature. I mean, I didn't go into any of the organizations, though. The WHO, the CDC, or the FDA, seemed like they all got something different to say, though. I mean, I did take a lot of notes. Now, before I go, though, I want to emphasize and highlight on the aspect of the immune system, all right? Because I feel like this is the best information about this to share right now. Like, what else do you want to say about this shit? This shit's boring as over and we in the house. Well, at least let's just fucking feel good and do the shit we need to do based on our creative outlet expression. You feel me? So, some of the things that I picked up from Dr. Shiva's website. So he spoke heavily on vitamin D, because vitamin D assists the body in destroying pathogens. Okay, so he was explaining that you can get vitamin D from fruits, you can get vitamin D from the sun, or you can get vitamin D from a supplement. And that's just something that you need to consider to put in your body every day. And then the second thing was to be hydrated. Well, the second thing was vitamin C. Vitamin C also found in fruits. What's that right there? Worldmeter.info. I'm gonna tap into that. Actually, let me do a screenshot. But yeah, ashwagandha. This is a adaptogen. Also, other adaptogens that y'all might already have. Y'all might already got the black seed oil. Y'all might already got the bladderwrack or the maca root or the mullein leaf. All right. So outside of these, right, I have a website called tastedvegan.com. Okay. And the website is Tasted Vegan because my whole life changed when I tasted vegan. My physical body changed, my mental body changed, my discipline changed, my spiritual awareness changed all at the same time. So that's how mine was, that's how mine. So if y'all go to tastedvegan.com/corona, you're going to be able to see building your immunity in corona times. It's an ebook PDF that I'm compiling all of these different sets of information so that everybody and anybody can go on there, click a link, and be on all the websites that I just explained. Dr. Shiva's website, truthhealthfreedom.com website, and other resources that I'm slowly adding to this, just so that we know the things that we could utilize to improve the health of our own physical temple, okay? Because this is the temple of God. This is the car, okay? Let's make sure we shine our shoes and things of that nature, you understand? And we're going to be able to live out the highest vibration in accordance to nature. You know what I'm saying? That's the close that you can get. So, so I didn't really speak on the 5G as what I wanted to. So y'all know how we used to be on the iPhone 3s, right? Maybe you had a 4 or something. Maybe you had a BlackBerry. You feel me? That was 3G. You feel me? And I want y'all to see the correlation with the technology and the output of the technology, the usage of the technology. You feel me? So some of the correlations, if y'all do like a speed test correlation with 4G and 5G, they'll say something like a movie could be downloaded on 4G in 50 minutes, and the same movie could be downloaded on 5G in 7 minutes, right? That shows you the advancement of the utility called 5G, the upgrade of the technology in correlation to the previous. This is really important because if you take a step back and look at the 3G to the 4G, that's like transformational. Like, how many of y'all ever was trying to get on Facebook or MySpace and you was using your BlackBerry and you got to wait a couple seconds, like really a couple, like damn, 7 seconds to get on the page type of shit. Then 4G comes, now we just buzzing around, right? Now imagine 5G. The purpose for this that I learned from Young Pharaoh, he had a live with someone by the name of Cyrus Parsa. And Cyrus Parsa is an individual who wrote a book explaining the effects and the usage of AI in the sense of enslaving humanity. So when he was breaking this down, I was looking into Cyrus Parsa because, first of all, I already know that YP is not going to come on here with some bullshit, but I want to know more about the Cyrus guy because he had a different perspective of it. You know what I'm saying? He's not from where we're from, so his table is different, so his conversation is different. So that's how I work. So I look beyond the first thing I see, and I understand the wiring. So when he was breaking down the 5G, he was also expressing that the 5G is going to be very assisting AI and robotics because the AI and robotics is going to call for a higher level of data transformation or transfer. You feel me? Yeah, shout out to YP. So like that data transfer is going to be at a larger capacity because we're on a higher bandwidth, or we're on a higher technology road. I'll just use that terminology. It's a road. And this one, the 5G can have 5 lanes. The 4G got 4 lanes. Okay, so more is going to travel through. So he was expressing how China already has 200 million cameras in their country, and these cameras are already connected to AI, and they already process facial recognition, all the way to the point that they could read lips. They could read lips with the AI, the cameras that they have installed right now. So that brought a different level of insight to my mindset about not only like, is there a little bit of issue around that 60 gigahertz range where the 5G actually affects oxygen molecules, but also understanding the development in technology and how they want things to go in a sense. You know, the powers that used to be, unfortunately for them, you know, they shit got washed. But it's still good for us to understand like the process. Why is, you know, certain things happening, and how does that correlate? Because that, for me, at least for me personally, that's just quicker, wiser, stronger, and faster in all shapes and forms of fashion. So I'm gonna play this little video right here from YP, the Cyrus Aparsa guy. I was gonna purchase his book, but I actually didn't pull the trigger on it. But I think I'm actually gonna jump back into that. They are more advanced with 5G. Exactly. I want to learn more about it. I want to get to know more of the things that it's going to bring to the table. I know it's going to be useful in some areas, but I still just, you know what I'm saying, I want to be aware of this shit. So look.
You know, China threatens Africa greatly.
Oh, no,
so they have something called One Belt, One Road.
This one
BRI.
Drain they swamps together and do it right. Period.
This one different.
You know, China threatens Africa greatly. So they have something called One Belt, One Road, or BRI. As I said at the beginning of our interview, connecting China to Middle East, Europe, and Africa. They've been in there in Zimbabwe and different places. And they're social engineering the African people. Oh, we come to your village. We're going to build you a road. Right. Oh, we're building you a building. Oh, we got you this technology. Here's some money. And they're picking leaders of tribes, right? Let me ask you this. If they care about the African people, let's say they're not calling them apes and monkeys behind the back. I don't mean the Chinese in America, okay? Don't get this wrong. I'm talking about the communist regime and their military leaders. Right. If they're not feeding their own people and they kill them for the organs, why the hell would they care about some people they call monkeys to go over there building stuff and give them all these things?
No,
they're trying to enslave your ass. Sorry, but and exterminate you later. And by using their own people, by using the African people. So Africans are really endangered in Africa, but this show's primarily for America. Maybe it'll get over there. But you know, I showed this book to some African people, people who are related to Homeland Security. They didn't get it. They didn't want to read this one because it had Trump on there. They got so angry. Oh, Trump. But no, Trump's been trying to help Africa behind the scenes. He's trying to stop China from taking over Africa because they're going to enslave everybody with these machines or robots and things of that nature. So I would like everyone to know why I wrote these books, research all these companies.
So yeah, so that's Cyrus Aparsa. I don't actually have that video. It's probably still on my Mac. So I advise everybody like to tighten up on the immune system game, not in the sense of fear mongering or any of that bullshit. More so from the sense of I just want to feel and know that my body is sound from how I fucking operate. I want to have high energy to the sense that I can utilize my mind any given time, utilize my body any given time. So that also comes with hydration and also exercise. But these are just regular things about being a being on this planet Earth. Like this shit is all what we already been on, you feel me? And it's just all about tightening it up, but then being more aware of the source that inspires a person when they speaking. I want y'all to really have that shit in the bag, like for real. The source that inspires somebody while they speaking, you can know the energy that somebody's coming with based on the direction they coming from. So if somebody is speaking about this corona shit and they haven't said nothing about no fucking solutions, they haven't said nothing about what you can do, and they have said nothing about why your body will take care of you, then you have to be fucking question mark the shit out that person, especially in the realm of the conversation. Not as a person, but just as in a general sense of the conversation, and where do they have their information coming from? Because if you are getting your information from any of these majors, you feel me? Your shit is going to be white label with fear, period. That's it. And it's kind of like underneath, you know what I'm saying? You could say a word and I could smell the fear on your breath type of shit. And it's like, you really have to be aware of that because it is a real drain. Like even, like I'm so serious, y'all, in the sense that even just not even being in the conversation, but being next to a conversation is fucking part of this shit. Like, I don't want to say that because I know tomorrow I'm going to have a conversation or be in the midst of some people having a conversation. And I'm going to make sure that I'm aspiring myself to be mentally strong and stay sound in the I am so that I don't fall into the fucking, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my God. But that shit is difficult to do. What's that video? That video is Cyrus Aparsa. speaking on social engineering in Africa. If you send me a DM, I'll send that video over to you, and I'll also share you a link where you could watch the whole interview. That's on Young Pharaoh's YouTube page. But what I was saying is, when you understand the source that inspires somebody, you can feel it. It's not something that they have to tell you about. It's not something that, oh, let me see your source that you're inspired. Nigga, it's none of that shit. Just fucking listen and feel the vibe of the person. Fear is not something that is going to assist none of us ever. So we just need to abstain from it for like, you know what I'm saying? Like, don't even touch the shit. But it's difficult. So when you do touch it, be aware of that you're touching it. You feel me? Be aware that I'm engaging with somebody right now who's underneath the guise of falsehood. They don't actually recognize their power and individuality as a being of God in the flesh right now. So they throw all that shit behind the bus because the news told me that something could... Nigga, if you look 100 years ago, this same year, 100 years ago, 1920, right? You see the Spanish flu. That shit was considered to affect 500 million people. Every 100 years, some shit. And those that die, they don't actually say who those people are. They just make this shit sound worse. And I'm gonna let y'all know right now, it's not gonna be us in the sense of those elevating and rising in consciousness. No, I'm not gonna say just because you're rising in consciousness and you hold hands with somebody and lick elbows and shit, and the motherfucker got corona, you're not gonna get that shit because that's just being foolish. You feel me? But from the simple fact that I'm going to the grocery store, I'm minding my business, I'm building my business, I'm fucking, you know what I'm saying, doing my shit. Why do I have fear in my mindset? Why is that part of my thinking? That's not my thought. So let me meditate that bitch out. Let me rise out this shit. I know every single time I shift while I'm like moving from a stressful mindset back to my zone, I always yawn a couple times. Anybody else, let me know if that shit's you too. But we have to become lighter. We have to become lighter. And yeah. So I just wanted to share that. I just wanted to really share that because I'm noticing that, and it's difficult for me, especially when there's some people who I felt were so much more in a higher vibe. They're being traumatized by this shit. They're being traumatized, and this is just the first wave. You feel me? So if this is just a first wave and this is just an entry point type of shit, niggas just started this shit. This shit, we've been in the house. How long we been in the house? Damn. You feel me? Nigga, this the whole world that we thought about is no longer. That shit's over. So now, I mean, bro, oh my gosh, bro. I've been hammering down on myself in the sense of how can I utilize my creative energy from the fucking house? And that's why I've been doing so many different things. I haven't been able to share what I've really been trying to share. So some of the things I've been working on, I've been putting together supplements, not in the sense of I want to be a GNC or a vitamin shop. I just want to make sure I'm there for my people. So I got the CMOS and things like that. So I started, trying to put my bread in places that I know I could kickstart. You know what I'm saying? But anyways, this live about to end, y'all. I got 2 minutes on this bitch. I appreciate y'all. I love y'all. And I'm definitely going to make sure that I upload these links so that y'all can get the access. Simply for the simple fact that we going to be healthy out this bitch. You feel me? So, I appreciate you, Destiny. Joe Blacksmith, Polar Cola. Oh, Pete Cola Boys. My fault. I said Polar Cola. I'm wildin'. Bay Richard, what's up, though? Hey, I appreciate y'all, family. So, with that being said, I'm gonna end on this note. I'm not gonna actually speak on this very much, but I'm definitely gonna have this uploaded to the YouTube so y'all can play this back, come back, grab the videos, send me a DM if you need any of these videos. Hopefully you know which one you want, and I got you. And yeah, any more information that comes, I'm gonna let y'all know about it. DM me if you need some CMOS, and if you're in the US, I got some CMOS. Outside of that, yeah, family, I'm gonna tap in with y'all later. All right, peace. Stay well. You heard? Yeah.